First thing first, whenever you start drawing in a shape, you need to be sure about your unit setup, and you need to be sure about the grid system what you have in here. So first thing, I'm just going to go and check the customize and the unit setup, and it is being set in the centimeters. That's okay for me. So I click OK, and now I'm just going to set the grid levels. For setting the grid levels, I'm supposed to right click on this snapping tools, and from the open window I'm just going to home grid, and from the home grid I'm just going to set this thing up. I'm going to set, you can turn off the light. Okay, that will be better. In here, grid spacings, I just want to space, I just want to put a space in here around, let's say, 10 centimeters in between every grids. 10 is so less, let it be 25 centimeters. And I want to see the major line after every 4 grid line. And I want to see in total 20 boxes in every direction. Okay, I just need a big grid area in here. So I just make Alt W and make that place to fill the whole drawing area. And I hit the Z for zooming in. Now I have the space, or I have the environment where I will start my drawings. What I'm going to draw is going to be something about the people just passing under it. So I need a box in here which is going to represent a human size. So I just click and draw a box which is not supposed to be a proper box for now yet. What I will do now is I will just go and change the modifications of it. The first thing, I'm just going to define the height of my box. An average human is having 180 centimeter the height, and the width between shoulder to shoulder, let it be 55 centimeters, and the length between chest to back, let it be 20 centimeters. So this is a scaling for a human size, an ordinary human size. Okay, that's okay. That's so nice. Now I'm just going to define, or I'm just going to start drawing the arc. While we are measuring the stuffs, while we are entering the numbers, after now are important, because we will think about the arc which I'm going to draw, which rise up first, then curve, then come back to ground, is having a fixed size of height. That height, what I have decided to draw, is going to have 600 centimeters. So whatever I'm going to draw is going to depend on that height. So first of all, I'm just going to draw a box now in here, another box, and in this box I'm just going to set it that the height of the box is, as I said, 600 centimeters, and it has the width as, let's say, 20 centimeter, and the height is 20 centimeter too. So I have a box which has 600 centimeter long and having 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter width and the length. So this is what I get. Okay, here it says 20. I hit the enter. Okay, this is what I have now. So whatever I'm going to build now is going to be built on that box. What I want from here to implement 2 modifiers on that box. The first and the second, order is important. If you make the first one, for example, bending, then twisting, that means that first of all bend and twist around it. If you make first of all twist, then bend, so you will have a twisted rod which had been bent later on. So order of modifiers are important. What I need in here first is I need the twisting at first, because I first of all make the twisting, then I will bend it to back to down ground, to the ground again. So while this box is being selected, in the modify section, I do click in here the modifier list. Inside this modifier list, what I want is to twist. Okay, now this is going to twist my box. I want that twist to be happen by 720 degrees. 720 degrees means that 2 complete rounds. 364 1, so 720 is 2 complete rounds. And if you just look closer to my drawing now, oops, here it is. Okay, I just click it. You see there are some lines are passing on it. Means that it is ready to twist, but it's not able to twist. The reason is, can you just twist a structure which has only one solid side? For example, can you just take this one and twist it easily? It cannot be. So you need to divide it into sub portions, then you can twist it. Think about your vertebrate. Your vertebrate is having the bones like that, so you can twist your vertebrate, am I right? So like that, now I need to make this box to have enough segments in terms of height. Now I select the box, and here's the height. I select the height to become 60 segments. So once I made it 60, the whole box has divided into 60 equal pieces. Now those each will turn a little bit, and eventually we will have the look like this. So now it has been twisted. That's the thing what we were expected to see. Now after this twisting has happened, actually I want it to be twisting not in whole size. I want it to be twisting only in the middle 300 area. So I don't want any twist in the before 300 or after 300. So if we think about the 300 centimeter is going to be used for twisting, what is left for non-twisting? 300. And one part will be before, one part will be after. So that means that 150 and 150 for each side. Now, what I'm going to show you is these modifiers are actually not only the modifiers even for some shapes what we are going to deal with polygons after a while, is going to have sub-selection mode. Now look, for example, the box and the twist are the things what I'm selecting now. There's a plus sign in here. If I click this plus sign, I have a menu comes up. And if I click this gizmo, that gizmo is about the sub-selection mode. Means you are selecting a part of a twisting function now. In this twisting function, I want that gizmo, I want that twisting action starts after 150 centimeters. So once the gizmo is selected, I rise the gizmo up by 150 centimeter. Here it looks like nothing has changed. I'm just going to click this limit effects. So it is changed, but that change is not what we wanted to see. Actually, if you look at it here, there is a line goes up here. You see that? The gizmo is affecting, actually the gizmo is the effect area of that twist. Now that twist is affecting from here up until here. But the part which is below the gizmo is not being affected. Yes, your question? Huh? Okay, it is always here, inside the twist. Okay, you just need to click this plus sign to see that. Okay, what I did in here is, now I'm pretty sure that the twisting is not going to happen in the first 150 centimeter. And what I told you that the twisting should be 300 centimeter height. Am I right? So the twisting should start from 0, where the gizmo is now, and it must make the twisting up until how many centimeters? 300 centimeters. I set the twisting to be in 300 centimeters. So here I set it into 300 centimeters. So that twisting is now in action, which is starting from 150 centimeter up, and it twists 300 centimeters and stops from there. So what left is 150 down, 150 up, has no twisting. Okay, just for being sure that I made it true or not, I just need to go and check from the left or front view. If you look at this left view now, I'm just looking from the front view. I'm just zooming in. Now see that I'm seeing from the side. Now I'm just going to scroll up, and again I'm seeing from the side, because 720 degrees means 2 complete rounds. Okay, so here I'm happy about this one now, so I can just pass to banding. Banding is again another modifier which has the same approach. Banding is again having the gizmo, and we will just apply that thing on this box. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pass the perspective view, and I'm just going to get into original look in here. This is what I have now, so let me just make this box to be banded. Okay, so after the twist, I'm clicking on this modifier, and I'm writing in here band. So now you see there's another rectangle drawn on my box. That rectangle which has been drawn on the box, let me just zoom in, maybe you have difficulty to see that. Sorry. This rectangle is the rectangle of banding gizmo. So that is where the banding is going to affect my drawing. So I'm just going to zoom out to see in general. I want it to go up and turn back down. So it means that if you are going to turn back down, how many degrees of angle you need to change? 180. So I just set in here 180. So here it is. It has been bent 180 degrees. But the point is that 180 degrees, if you look at the box, sorry, let me just get closer. It is covering all of my object. But that's not the thing what I want. I want that let's say arc to rise up by 200 centimeters, then the band by 200 centimeters, and come back down by 200 centimeters more. So I need a straight way up 200 centimeters, means no banding in that 200 centimeter. Then I want the banding within 200 centimeters. Then again I don't want any more banding. So I must modify it now. What I will do, again I click the banding and I set the gizmo active. Now the gizmo is active. What I said was, I told you that I don't want to see a banding for the first 200 centimeter. So while the gizmo is selected, I select the Z value and I push it up by 200 centimeters. So you see, now it has been pushed up like that. But I didn't limit the effects yet, that's why I see this look. Once I click the limit effects, now I see that it is going up and coming back in the same direction. Okay, because the starting limit and the upper limit are the same, 0 and 0. What I said was, I want it to climb up by 200 centimeters without bending. Then how much centimeter was the bending? Again 200 centimeters. So it is starting from 0. So here should be 200. Here it is. So what I have in here now is, it is actually the look what I wish to see. Let me just zoom in. Okay, sorry. So I I have an arc which is going up, and after 150 centimeter the twisting starts. After a while twisting starts, it makes a bending, then it comes down. After bending is finished, it will twist a little bit more and it goes down and touches the ground. So that is the arc what we have drawn. But I don't like the base. I don't like how it's just settled on the ground. I want the, let's say, legs, or the, let's say, the first points of this arc to become a bit more greater in size. So what I will do now is I will just see from the front look, and I just click the zoom. Okay, let me just see where is that arc. Here it is. I select it and I click the Z for zoom, and here we see that there are boxes are in here. So I can just select those boxes and I can just define them to be greater, and that will be a better view in here. So what I will do is I'll just click the selection tool and I will just select those boxes. I'm not able to select. You are not able to select those boxes until you make your shape either polygon or a mesh. But there is a side effect of it. Now, for example, if you want to change your design now, for example, if you want to make this twisting is not to be 720, let it be, for example, 360, you can change it. Or you can change it, for example, okay, 720, okay, 1440. You can make it in any number you like, and it reflects what is your change is. But once you made it into polygon mode, you will lose these controls. You will no more able to change the twist values. You will no more change the banding values and such others. So you must decide that very well indeed. Either is this the shape what I really wanted to see? For my case now, yes, it is the shape what I want to see. So what I'm going to do is I am going to convert my shape into polygon. So for changing the shape into polygon, once the shape is selected, I'm just making a right click, and from the right click there's a convert to options here, and I'm going to convert it into polygon. Once I change it into polygon, you see there is nothing left in here. It is just editable poly. I don't have twist, I don't have bend, nothing at all. So now I can, yes, able to select the polygons and I can just make some changes on them. Before I just jump into what the polygon is, I just want to show you different sub-selection modes, like the twist and the bend hat. So in here, in the polygon mode, if I click the vertex, can you see? Okay, let me just zoom in a little bit more so you will understand better. Okay, here I guess zoom in a lot, enough. Okay, if I click the vertex mode, you see that there are some boxes at the corners get active. Vertex actually means the corner points for the vertex. Okay, the edges are these lines in between two vertexes. Okay, vertex was the point, so the edge is the line in between those 2 points. Border, I cannot show you the border now because my object is having a fully covered area. Border is actually what appears once you open a hole in your drawing. Polygon is the area of selection. Sorry, just a minute. Okay, polygon is the area which left in between the edges, and the element is going to be needed for selecting the whole object. Okay, what I'm planning to do in here is I just want to make the polygon in here to be grow up. Okay, so that's why I'm just selecting the polygon. And the property of this polygon is, once you select the polygon from one side, if you haven't turned that feature off, that also selects the polygon in arrow direction which that selection circle is. See, the back side, the bottom, and all the polygons in here are selected. Clear? So once you actually select an area, all the polygons which falls in that area will be selected. We are actually going to modify that selection tool after a while, but not in this practice. So here I'm happy about it. What I want to do is, I'm just going to bring this body, let's say dummy, to here for measuring some stuffs. I'm just going to see from the top. Okay, from the top I'm just going to zoom in. Sorry. I just push it in. Okay, now the guy is inside it. Let me just see from the front. Okay, I'm just going to push it here, which is almost in the middle. What I will do now is I'm just going to select this one, the object. I select the polygon, or first, okay, first 4 are so much. Okay, make it first 3. After I select the first 3, I just pass in the polygon mode by clicking the letter P from the keyboard, and I select the select and transform tool, and I'm just going to make it to grow on the X and the Y axes. So it is now growing. Why I put that dummy there is because I don't want those growth areas to touch that man's legs or feet. Okay, that's why I put that dummy inside there. So here it is, it's grown up well, and I'm now outside of the sub-selection mode. Let me see from the perspective look in general. Here it is, we have a guy and we have a proper arc in here. Now I'm just going to make this arc to be something like a garden decoration. So we will see while this guy is passing through there. I hit the shift, I drag it on the one axis, and I'm just going to make it 4 copies. So here it is. Now the guy in here is now able to pass under them. Then that looks okay. So this was the first shape what we have drawn. That was an arc. So any question? Nothing at all? I have already recorded the video. Let me just pause record. First thing first, I must be sure about the unit setup. Because I'm always using my own computer, that's always remaining as the last setup what I preferred. It is still metric and centimeter. That's why it's okay for me. But the grid system, in another hand, is not the same way. So I just need to define my grid system from scratch. I right click on the snapping tools and I just go to the home grid. The tool what I'm going to draw is going to be a screwdriver. That's why I don't need this length spaces in between the grids. I want only 1 centimeter space in between the grids, and I want to see the major line after every 10th box, and I want to see let's say 30 boxes in every direction. Okay, so that is my drawing area. I just get that area, let's say big by Alt W, and now I just zooming in through the drawing zone. Here are the boxes what I had just recently drawn. What I wish to make in here is, I want to draw just a circle shape for defining the size and the heights, and then I will just modify it. I'm just going to come to this create section. In here, not this time the geometry, Now I do click the shapes. Inside the shapes, there is splines. Inside the splines, I'm going to draw the circle. So, the circle what I'm going to draw is going to be, actually we are going to draw many circles, but the first circle is the circle for the handle. So I'm just going to draw a rough circle in here. I don't care the size of it yet. After I draw the circle, I'm just passing the top view. And from the top view, I just zoom in through my circle. And once the circle is selected, I'm past the modify section. And inside this modify section, I do think that the radius of the screwdriver, which you are going to handle in your hand, is okay for, let's say, 2 centimeter the radius is. Okay? Because the diameter will be 4 centimeter. I'm just going to set it in here 2 centimeters. Okay, let it be at least 2.5, so it will be palm filling. Okay, 2.5, the size of the radius of our screwdriver. I just move it to the side. Sorry. Okay. I'm just dragging it to down in here. For better workspace, I'm just dragging it in here. That is the handle part. What I need, the second, is that star shape for the handle area. Okay? But before that, let me just generate one more copy of this. I click the shift and drag to the side, and I just click the copy, and that is going to have 1.5 centimeter the radius. 1.5 is so small. Okay, I'm just going to make it 1.8 the centimeter is. So that is going to be the space after the beginning of the screwdriver, before the handle starts. Now I know that the radius of the screwdriver is 2.5 centimeters. What I will do now is, I will just create another shape from the splines. I click the create from the shapes, from splines. I just click the star, and I just draw roughly a star like this. I don't care now how the star looks like for now. What I will do, while the shape is being selected, I pass the modify section. From this modify section, I want the star has the 8 size. I increase the sizes. And the radius, which is at the top most, I want it to be 2.4, okay, 2.3 centimeters, a little bit less than the handle which was at the top. Okay, I don't like it, that may hurt the hands. Okay, 2.5 is nice. And I want the inner radius to be, let's say, 1.5 centimeter. But now the star shape has sharp ends. I am not happy with it too, so I'm just going to make them a little bit flatten. Okay? Here it is now. So the star shape is just in the shape what I wanted to see. Okay, I'm just going to drag it down in here. What left is, okay, I need to draw the starting point. I need to draw the starting point of the metal ending. So that metal ending is again a circle. That's why I'm just going to click the circle. Sorry, here it is. And I'm just going to make one more copy of it. Okay? And this circle is going to be the metal side of the screwdriver. And, okay, that is enough for having a 0.5 centimeter diameter. Sorry, the radius. So I just made in here 0.5 centimeter. This is the metal part of the screwdriver. And that is not the screwdriver's, let's say, tip. That is only the metal side. I need a box shape. That box shape is going to be the tip of the screwdriver. As I told you before, I want that tip to be as flat. I'm just, let's say, straight screwdriver. Okay, so I'm just going to select in here. create the splines and here the rectangle. I'm just, okay, sorry. Come on. Okay. Here it is. That is the rectangle what I draw. And I want to be sure about the sizes too. I want its length to be, okay, 2 centimeter and the width to be 1 centimeter. That is the sizes what I prefer to see. What is left is, now I have all the pieces what a screwdriver need to be or need to have. Actually, I'm not happy with the sizes, but we will just correct them later on. Okay, I just drag them to the sides. Okay, what I need, the structure of the, let's say, screwdriver. Now I have the pieces, I must need a line to put all those screwdriver pieces in one structure. So in here, what I will do is, I'm just going to, now I was looking from the top view, now I'm just looking from the left view. From the left view now, I'm just going to draw a line. And that line is going to contain all the screwdriver features on it. So for making that line properly aligned, we have decided that the line, sorry, the screwdriver what we are going to have is going to have 30 centimeters the height. For being sure, I'm just going to generate, actually there's another way to make it, but I just want to make in this way. I just draw a box and I set this box touching the ground. Now this box, I'm looking from the left view. I want to look from the front view, sorry. Okay, I'm looking from the front view now. And I want this box to be touching the ground. Okay, and I want it to have the height of 30 centimeter. And now it became a little bit confusing maybe. So let me just show you what we have done now. This is what we have done. Okay, we are looking from the top look now. Okay, we are looking from the top look now. So if we look at from the top look, we have the structures in here and we have the box in here. Okay, maybe this is a little bit confusing, so let me just rise this box up. So that will be easier for you to understand. Either I can just drag it in this way, or I can just simply say in here that here is 0 degrees. So it just goes up itself. Okay, so this is the box what I have drawn now. Sorry. What I want a line which is the same size of the height of the structure is. So I'm just passing the front view, zoom in, and here is the box which is having exactly 30 centimeters the height. And what I need to draw a line at this size. So what to do is I can just click in here and I will just click the shapes and I will just click the line. Once the line is selected, I can try to draw the best straight line I can draw by just checking the features, but for the most of the time, that line what you have drawn, okay, let me just see from the perspective look. I forget to click, okay, just a minute. From left, sorry, from front, zoom it out, okay. Here I'm just trying to draw the line, a straight line as I can draw. Even now it has been spoiled. Okay, I'm just clicking this point and I'm just dragging up in here. While the Camtasia Studio is working, my mouse is behaving irrespectfully, so it is sometimes releasing the mouse even if I didn't. So I'm trying to draw it again. I hit the mouse and I just drag it up in here. I click it. So here there's a line. Let me just show you the line. Okay, let me just scroll up. Okay, here's the line. Hence, it looks like a straight line up. I cannot draw exact straight line up by this way. It always have a little bit left or right move. So if you really want to draw a straight line up, we need to use these snapping tools, the magnets. Okay, so I'm just going to see from the front look, and I just zoom in again. Once I click the snipping tool by the right click, here I have some options, and this grid points should be active. So the mouse should snap those corner points of the grid. So if I just say OK, and if I just move my mouse, see there is a, let's say, crosshair is coming, and it's always passing from the corners. So that helps me to draw an exact straight line. So what to do now? The line is selected. I hit the mouse for once, and I move the mouse up until here. Okay? So now I click the mouse one more time. What happened? It drew in between those two corner points, and still it is drawing. The drawing is still active. If you want to disable the drawing after you put your second point, you need to make a right click. So once you made the right click, I'm closing the snipping tool off. If I select the line, here's the line actually drawn, and that is a perfect straight line drawing. Okay, so that is the way how we should draw the straight lines. Now, I'm just passing the perspective look, and I don't need this dummy box anymore. Okay, just a minute. It sticks. Okay, I just pass in here, and I just delete this box. So now, this is going to be our screwdriver, and this screwdriver is going to use the shapes what we have decided in here. So what we have a big circle, mid-sized circle, star, smaller circle, and a rectangle. Okay, let us put them in action. This step is important. In the geometry section, not the standard parameters, I open the list and I select the compound objects. We are going to select the loft tool, but the loft tool is becoming active. Just a minute, I just want to share that the recording is still going on. Yeah, it does. That's nice. So that loft tool is becoming active if you select a line. See, I select a line, now the loft is enabled. So I click the loft tool now, and a set of new features are arrived. Loft tool is helping you to merge two or more than two lines on one line structure. So this is our structure, the main structure. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a shape. It is instance. If it is instance, that means that the same shape of that will be applied on here, but if you change this shape, that affects the changing in here too. No matter, I'm just clicking the get shape now. When the path is at the 0%, means in the beginning, the ground level, I select the get shape and I click this shape. So now it turned that line into that circle. Okay? And I push the path to 50% level. Means the half of it. According to our aim, at the half, it will turn into the small screwdriver look. Am I right? So in the half percent, I'm again getting the same shape. So if I just get close in, you can see that there is a green line drawn in here. At the half, of the way. And at the top, sorry, I'm just going to move from the distance look. Now I just changed the distance look. Not in the 15, I'm just going to make it into 15.1, just 1 millimeter again. I again have the same shape, just 1 millimeter away. And after that 1 millimeter away, I'm just clicking this 5.2. I am turning into GAT shape, the small screwdriver look. Okay, so now it started to turn something like a screwdriver. And I want the top 1 centimeter area to be a screwdriver look exactly. So what I'm going to do, I know that that's 30 centimeter. I just come to 28.9 centimeter. I come to 28.9 centimeter and I click the GAT shape, again still the small circle, and 29, at 29 I want to get the shape of this circle, sorry, the rectangle piece. And again at the 30 centimeter I'm just going to get the same shape again. Okay, if my mouse let me. Okay, GAT shape, and here it is. So this is the screwdriver, what we have done so far, but that's not stylish look. It doesn't have a stylish look. Now we are just going to make some sort of stylish effects on here. So what I will do first is I have just told you that there should be a sort of handling area in here. So now I'm just coming back to the 0 centimeter distance. As you see that it makes this part to become active. Now I want, let's say that after 1 centimeter area, I want it to be, okay, it will stay as again the same size it is, 1 centimeter. It will again get this big circle shape. Here it is, it got that shape. And let's say that after 1.5 centimeter, I want that curvy and inside movement. So I'm just going to make here 1.5 centimeter, not 15, 1.5 centimeter. I will just get the small circle look. It has been squeezed through inside. And after half centimeter more means 2 centimeter. So nice. Now, actually, I hit the 2, but it opens something else. Okay, means I need to change the styles from the loft modify section. Here, for example, accidentally something gone wrong and it hasn't been finished yet. So what you need to do in that case, you need to select your loft tool, you need to go to modify section, and here your setups are still staying. So I just make it here 2 centimeter, and in this 2 centimeter space, I'm just going to get again this look, the curvature, again back, and 2.5 centimeter. At 2.5 centimeter, I'm just going to get again this look. Okay, so nice. I'm having a challenge. Okay, let me see the shapes. Okay, 2 centimeter. I'm just going to write in here 2.5 centimeter. At 2.5 centimeter, I'm again going to get the same circle shape. Come on. Okay. Okay, here it is. And after 2.5, I'm at 2.6. At 2.6, I'm going to get the shape of star. Here it is. There is a star shape in here. Then that star shape will continue up until the last parts of the handle. the handle was how many centimeters? 15 centimeters. Let the star shape goes until 13.5 centimeter. Okay, I'm just going to click in here 13.5 centimeter, and still the GAT shape is active. I select this one. Okay, and after this 13.5, I'm just going to move to 14 centimeter and I'm just going to get this shape. Here it is. So this is the screwdriver, what we have drawn. Let us see the screwdriver. Okay, sorry. So that looks okay, but I am not happy with this tip. Still we have a mistake in here. The mistake is, yes, if you want that star shape at the tip, you just need to change this rectangle into star shape. Whatever you gave there, that shape will be there. Okay, but for now, I just put the rectangle. Here you see that actual screwdrivers are supposed to start in a metal circle and goes as a metal circle till the tip. At the tip it should change the look, but here in our screwdriver, actually it is changing the shape from beginning till up in here, and that's not a proper look. So I click the loft tool now. From the modify section, I again just move the paths. By clicking this part, you can just move a green arrow in here. Can you see it there? Let me just zoom in so you will see that better in projector. Okay, now if I move it down, you see that there's a green arrow, a green line is changing, and that is the point of change. Point of changes are accordingly where you are, and if you look at it here at 29 centimeter, I have a change, and that means that when it reaches 29 centimeter, it will change into exact what we say exact rectangle, and the change starts from 15.2. So it's starting from 15.2 centimeter as a circle and changing into rectangle up until the 29 centimeter. But that's not the real case scenario. So what I will do is I'll just come in here 29 centimeter and I will just reduce it into 28.9, means just 1 millimeter before it will be again get this shape. So now if we just go back, okay, it hasn't changed yet. Get this shape, come on. So now this is the look. Okay, let me just zoom out. So this is the hammer looked screwdriver. Okay, so let us make it like a real screwdriver is. So what is left is I'm just supposed to change this screwdriver end. Okay, let me just zoom. I just need to change this part of the screwdriver, I mean the first changing part of the screwdriver, to be flattened and smoothed according to the size of the circle what we have. So what I will do, I will just go to the loft, and from the sub selection mode I go to shape. From the shape I will select this shape. Okay, and when this shape is selected, I just make it smaller. So that is the look, but I don't like it. I will just expand it from the sides. Okay, and that's quite okay for me. And what I will do for the next, I want this upper part to look like a more flat screwdriver look. So I will just squeeze it from the sides. and I will just push it a little bit. Okay, so this is the look. So this is the screwdriver what we have just drawn. Okay, so that's all. I'll just rotate it in an angle now, and we can just see our screwdriver in any direction as we prefer to see. Okay, so here it is. Good? Okay, this was a loft tool, and we will use the loft for lots of reasons. For example, on tomorrow when we are going to use the loft, we will use the loft for making a vase. I will just show you one point in here. For example, if you would like to make a stylish look, let's say that handle part is going to have a twisted look, so the handle will be more grippy. So what I will do, I just select this loft tool, okay, the loft object, not the tool. I will just come to this deformation stage. In this deformation stage, I have a twist option. Now, when I turn the twist option on, I will just zoom it a little bit more so you will see that the details. Okay, I will just zoom this part only. You can see some dotted lines in here. Those dashed lines means actually the points where you put your shapes. Okay, now if you look at it here, I have a shape in here, and that shape goes up until here. That is actually the shape of the star. Now what I want to make is, I want to make that star shape to have a twisted look. What I will do, I will just click this create section, okay, create an instance, and I will just create it in here. And once you see that there's a point that's drawn in here, I'm just going to select it and move it a little bit up. Okay, but that twist it at all. So I just don't like it. I'm just going to make it undo. I will make this point and this point to be fixed. And in between these 2 points, I will just select this one and I will just rise it up like that. See? Now it has a twist like that. But that twist is so sharp, let me make a smooth twist. So if I make it like that, so the twist is becoming smoother. So that became more grippy, let's say, handle. So that's all when I finish it. That is the product, what we have just recently designed. I don't like, okay, here it is. Good? Easy.